On this edition of the Dimp Digital Podcast, Abs is joined by Tom Adcock, who chats about his experience at PAX Prime 2015.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing, to be fair. I've never been to any kind of gaming show ever. If you're into gaming, it's just a treat for the eyes and ears. Like, there's just everything going on all day.
Yeah. They also discuss the potential for virtual reality in gaming.
All these, controllers and Wii U pads, it's all a load of old shit in it, connects, really. So maybe I thought gimmick, but I don't know, the immersion you get from it is outrageous, really.
All that and much, much more on the Dimp Digital Podcast. Hello, welcome to the Dimp Digital Podcast. We're on episode number 40, and this time you've got myself, Apps, and Pac-Man himself, Tom Adcock. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, mate. Yourself?
Excellent. Yes, not too bad, thank you. It is a landmark episode for Dimp Digital. We've managed to churn out 40 episodes of this rubbish, and people are still listening, surprisingly. If anything, it's getting more and more people listening, so it's absolutely unbelievable. To mark the big 40... You actually went off to PAX, didn't you, a couple of weeks ago in Seattle? We sent you off there, and we're going to talk about your experience at PAX. Many people from the UK won't have had a chance to go to this, so you're in a sort of a unique position where you've been over in the UK, and now you're in Canada, and you've driven down there, in fact, to visit PAX. So it's going to be good to enlighten people there. People, obviously, who are listening in the US are probably quite well aware of what PAX is and what it does. But it's great anyway that you've gone along and given us the inside scoop. So overall, PAX as a whole, how did you find it, just at a high level? Yeah,
it's pretty amazing, to be fair. I've never been to any kind of gaming show ever.
You've been to other sort of I'm trying to think of the word, not geeky, but things like that, conventions of sorts. Did it and obviously the different mediums and different bits of entertainment, but did it stack up alongside those kind of really big, sort of almost more mainstream style conventions?
It was huge compared to anything I've been to.
Oh, right.
Yeah, like back home or in any of the other mediums. It was like 4-day event. It's over like one massive convention centre and then 3 or 4 other hotels all in like the downtown core. It's huge. Yeah, absolutely huge.
You went for 2 days.
Yeah,
so that's 2 full days you spent there. Was there enough time to get everything done that you wanted to do, or was it just too much for any one human to get through all that?
I probably saw everything I wanted to see, but no, you could be there the full 4 days and not see everything. It is it's just massive. It's an absolute if you're into gaming, it's just a treat for the eyes and ears. There's just everything going on all day.
Yeah.
The free play stuff on the consoles goes on till I think 2 a.m.
So what's this free play stuff then? Just quickly, what is this?
So once the convention closes down at 6, so all the big boys go home. The people working, Xbox, Microsoft, whatever, PS, they go. But then upstairs you've got all the retro gaming people. They stick around a bit longer, and then once they go, they've just got rooms and rooms full of every consoles you've ever wanted. So all the old ones, all the new ones. You'll walk into a room, there's 50 PS4s lined up.
Wow.
You'll just go up to a desk, go, can I play whatever game? They'll just give it to you, give them your pass.
They give you the disc, there and then?
Give you the disc, and the pads. You just wander off, play it. And then because it's obviously very, everyone's there's into games, you'll often get people just coming up going, hey, do you mind if I join in? You're like, yep.
Definitely
and
not.
You just kind of all play all night.
That is actually, I'd probably enjoy that more than the actual convention itself.
Yeah,
so,
mate.
Well, these all the games you could choose from.
Yep.
I assume they weren't games that are at the convention itself. They were kind of all fully released games that were already out, and there weren't any kind of you wasn't playing Assassin's Creed Syndicate afterwards. But
no. There'll be no point going to the event.
No, exactly. You're just sitting there.
Who wants to be doing that? Why do you got some little geezer going, oh, go that way? You can just go upstairs and do it yourself.
Yeah.
But things like Rocket League, mate, were huge.
Right.
People, TV screens constantly just playing that with 4 people around them.
They?
Yeah, that's become massive. Right away. Competitively, people are loving it.
Did you get a go on that, or did you?
Yeah, we played that. Yeah.
What did you think of that?
I love it. I've played it already. But
all right, so you've played it over. Yeah. I'm surprised it's taken off so big, but it is just so simple and addictive that it's not really a surprise, really, when you think about it logically.
No, exactly.
So these after event bits and bobs, where you free play, as you called it. Was there a queue for this bit, or is it you could just literally, there's so much of it that you wouldn't need to queue for any of them? You could just wander in, and there's always going to be a space.
We never had a problem. Maybe it was the times we were going, but there's hundreds, and like there's rooms, and they've got a whole arcade there with like completely free machines.
Just
you've got all your classic arcades. So you can just wander about, and like I said, if you want to play Super Nintendo, it's there, like massive library of games. We mainly stuck to the newer consoles. Also, like weirdly, like not just saying this as a fanboy, but Wii U Smash Bros was huge. Like rooms and rooms of people playing that.
It's another competitive thing, isn't it? When people that are good at it love it, people that like me that aren't good at it probably don't like it. But you get those people that it's if you're good at that, you will enjoy playing it, and it's probably so much fun to play against others that you like fresh talent and people being there in the room. A lot of people obviously play online usually, so it's a completely different atmosphere, isn't it, to play when others are around you. And I imagine there's like a little mini audience for some of the matches on there, people like watching
exactly
them.
What I was just going to say. Like sometimes you'll be playing and you'll be like really happy, but then a crowd would have gathered over by another TV on another game, and all of a sudden there's a huge cheer, and you kind of just want to be part of that. You're like, what's going on over there?
Yeah, sort of looking.
And that's one of the things you kind of forget. Like, don't get me wrong, I love online play and like playing with your friends stuff. It's obviously so convenient and so much fun. But actually having everyone in the room and kind of getting behind like a game or whatever, you forget the kind of buzz you can get from that sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, publishers these days seem intent on just not having split screen co-op or anything like that these days. Whatever they can do to remove it, they seem like they're happy to. Probably because it means that both of you've got to buy a copy of it. Like I reckon it all comes down to a business thing, and why I do it. Technically, there's no reason why the horsepower these things have got couldn't support it. But it's just down to a business decision, which is a shame. But there are games out that do keep that, and Nintendo are renowned for keeping that sort of couch co-op play, where I think nearly all their games you can play split screen on the couch together, which is great. So that was after the event itself, and you went there for a couple of nights. The actual event itself, there was obviously game demos of all sorts there. There's lots and lots of games there for people to get their hands on, open to the public and people that have bought tickets. What was the longest queue you queued up for? Was it a bit of a problem for you? Did you find it sort of dragged you down a little bit, or was you fine with queuing up for like an hour or however long it was?
Yeah, it's like being at a theme park. You know, you kind of you get in that queue. You know, you're going to be sitting in it for an hour, and you just kind of make do, chat and stuff. It can be annoying when you're playing a game for like 8 minutes after. It lasts longer
than a roller coaster, though, doesn't it? That's like 40 seconds done.
That's true.
So the payoff better.
Yes.
So you're saying you get
Assassin's Creed 5.
Yeah. So you get like a good 8 minutes. So you get like more 15 minutes, or is it
sometimes more? Yeah. Like Assassin's Creed in particular was like I mean, I've only played the first one, so I don't know how it really runs alongside those. But yeah, like it was like a section of the game where I had 3 different objectives. So I was pretty slow, to be fair, and it probably took me more like 15 minutes to do it.
They didn't kick you off though. Didn't say, right, come on, Tom, you need to come on, get him assassinated. There was like
exactly, and a lot of them have like a prize for actually complete. So like some will be like just time demos, and then others will be like complete this demo, and then you get a T-shirt or something.
Yeah, that's quite good a way to do it. I mean, when I played Bloodborne at EGX Res, it was you play until you die, which didn't take me long. I think it was like 4 minutes and I was dead. I was not prepared for the onslaught that I was going to face for that. And I felt a bit cheated by that. I could have queued up and gone round again, but I was like, no, I've played enough now. So you went for 2 days. You actually rocked up. You rocked up on the Thursday, or did you rock up on the Wednesday?
Yeah, the Thursday.
The Thursday, and you were telling me offline, you text me saying, I'm just going to Nintendo's headquarters, sort of campus trip.
Microsoft, mate.
Microsoft, sorry, yeah.
Fly me to Japan.
No, yeah, they're not going to be doing that, charter that out, are they? So how did that occur? So you've rocked up on the day before it starts, and what is it? You said there's shuttle buses just kicking up, there's queues just forming outside the convention centre.
Yeah, we had no idea. We just walked outside this convention centre, and there was a huge queue, and we asked the people at the front what they're queuing for, and they said, we're going to Microsoft head office, play some video games, anyone's welcome.
Yeah.
So, we just jumped in the queue, not really knowing. All of a sudden, some big Greyhound buses come, we jump on. Half an hour later, we're on, Bill Gates' private island.
Is it a private island then? Is it?
Well, we went across a big bridge. Don't know. And then I'm not joking. Like, it's a huge campus, and I was like, and obviously the employees, I guess, live on campus.
Yeah.
So they're all roads named after like Microsoft games and things. I was like, right, where
Windows
am I?
98 Avenue.
Yeah.
But I bet there's no Windows 8 stuff there. They must have just tried to delete that. So that is actually the whole campus you got to go to. And I'm sure they took you to a specific building and just...
Yeah, it's like the conferencey bits, I guess, yeah.
And did you have a tour guide that sort of let you off the hook to go and wander around?
Weirdly, no. Like, it was all kind of cool, and then the bus driver just lets you go. There's a sign saying this way, like, game demos, and then you're left to wander around. It's a bit weird, really. Yeah. But, then you went in, there was, like, 3 huge conference halls, and they had all, like, the retro games. Like, they were very much based on, like, the indie ones there, I guess, rather than any AAA, like, newbies coming out. But, it was really good. It was almost like a pre-PAX. You know what I mean? It was good.
Sort of pre-PAX. And how long did you spend there at the Microsoft head office?
We were there for maybe 2.5 hours, and the only reason we really left was because we heard there's the same sort of thing for Nintendo back near our hotel.
Yeah.
So we
got the Greyhound bus back.
Went back and thought we'd try and fit in both in one night, which we did. So it's pretty sweet.
So how was Nintendo then? Was that just like a separate kind of centre they had set up specifically for this? Or?
Yeah, so they had rented a space, and it was much more kind of much more inviting. You know, it was like drinks and like waitresses going around with food. They actually had a guy come out on stage and do some announcements. Again, it was all to do with like indie titles, but really good. But they kind of had all their games that were actually at PAX on show there to play as well, which was a little bit odd, but they're always a bit weird. So
they march to the beat of their own drum. So that was a good little starter. Then you must have been well impressed with just. You know, the
I couldn't believe my luck, to be honest, mate. Yeah, it's really good.
And they were both free, just so that we make sure.
Yeah, everything's like once you're in is free.
That is unbelievable, isn't it? That is good stuff. And was that going on just that first night, or was it happening at the end of in the day when the actual PAX was going on? Was it just that that pre-PAX celebration?
I have no idea, to be honest, mate. I would say it was just that one day because it was pre-PAX. If it'd been on one of the actual nights, then I think it's the same day repeated 4 days over. So yeah, so I don't think it was.
No, well, that is a great way to kick off your PAX weekend. Let's move into some of the actual games you got your hands on. So you've given me an absolute ridiculous list. I can't believe you managed to get your hands on a lot of this stuff and play it, because it seems like way too much for 2 days worth when you could be queuing up to an hour for some of this stuff. But the very first one we've got on here is Cuphead.
So that was the pre-PAX thing,
Oh, that was in the pre-PAX thing. You got to go on that, and that's the 1930s art style 2D side-scrolling shooter.
I don't know if you've seen it. Yeah, really. Like, the aesthetic is all exactly what you said, like 1920s, 30s, whatever cartoon, which kind of you think makes it look bad, but it looks beautiful. It's stunning to look at. Plays really nice, like a run and gun type game. It's almost like just a continuous boss battle. Like. You don't do much to get to the next boss. It's almost just bosses essentially, but they're huge. Take up the screen, 2-player at the same time, like loads of fun. I believe it's an Xbox exclusive as well, which it's nice to know that they're kind of now pushing those indies as well, because PS4 have had tons of like good fortune going down that avenue. So it looks like they're getting on board with that, which really good one. Really enjoyed that.
No, that is true. You know, PlayStation have been pushing out these indie titles, obviously. Rocket League's one of them. It's available on PC as well, but that was one it was free on the PlayStation Plus membership that got people going. So it's good that Xbox are actually pushing down. I think it's called Idea Xbox or something they've got called. They call the little thing for their indie development, and that's kind of where they'll take the developers under their wing and help finance
so they
them.
Become in-house, right? Okay.
Yeah, they kind of. I think they say, look, we'll give you X amount of money up front to support it, or resources or whatever, help market it, but it's going to come on our platform.
I was going to say, because this looked like it had a lot of polish around it. It was really very nice. Yeah, I don't know when it's due to come out, but it looked beautiful. Like almost, as good as anything I've seen on the next gen in its own way. Like kind of Nintendo-y, but just it's beautiful to look at and play. Yeah.
Do you think that'll have some legs in it for say 10 hours of doing a side-scrolling shooter, or will it run out of steam?
Because maybe half that time, perhaps.
Yeah, because it was fine back in the old days, but the games were very short and very hard, so
yeah,
it was. They were probably 4 hours tops back in the day. Whereas
exactly, it's not split screen, so it's just like it's built to be played with a partner. Like you can do like loads of moves together and things. I don't know if you play like with a bot. If you play solo, actually, they were just giving the pads to 2 people every time. But I mean, I can't imagine it's got 10 hours under it.
No, it'll probably be a slightly shorter game. I imagine it'll get ridiculously hard at some point, like just bullets everywhere, and you've got to try and avoid and jump. It's going to be one of those type of games. But that's always one game that I'd earmarked when I first saw the way it looked. I thought that's such an interesting way of doing a game, because it looks exactly like a cartoon.
Yeah,
that you're playing essentially, and that's something that definitely interests me myself. I'm going to jump into VR. I think it's best that we get this out of the way sooner rather than later, because you had to go on, and correct me if I'm wrong, both Project Morpheus and the Oculus Rift.
Yeah, and the mobile, like I don't know what you'd call that, mobile version of VR. Like it was
like a Samsung Gear type thing, was it?
Yeah, it was lumped in with the Oculus. So I don't know if they're producing it. It was like maybe like a slightly higher end version of the mobile.
Yeah.
I mean, had one, didn't you? Like a cardboard one.
Yeah. So was it designed just to slip a hand, like a tablet into it, or was it actually a headset? There's sort of a smaller version designed for.
Yeah, like a plastic headset. The phone just fits in nicely to the front, but then you had buttons at the side to then control the menus and things. So it worked very nice.
Navigate your way through. Let's start with Oculus and the handheld. You had to go on both of those.
Yeah.
Start with the handheld version of it. How was that with a mobile phone there? Impressive.
Stunning. Genuinely.
What's this? Is just with a tablet or a smartphone in front of your face?
I don't know which one it was. Samsung, like high-end Samsung S5 or something. I don't know, whatever it is. But like a nice Samsung phone. But do you know what? Stacks up. I'm on board with all of this, by the way. I thought all 3 were amazing. But possibly my take-home point is that the mobile really, really, at the moment, I know they're tech demos and things, but it really holds its own against the other 2.
Right.
Amazing.
That was good. I mean, was you interested beforehand, or was you kind of a bit sceptical, thinking we've had this bloody crap before, Virtual Boy and whatnot?
Yeah, I mean, I've heard nothing but good things of people I know who have played it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like exactly, with all this controllers and Wii U pads, it's all a load of old shit in it. Connect really. So maybe I thought gimmick, but I don't know. The immersion you get from it is outrageous, really. I mean, it depends obviously on the demo, because I don't know how you've played one of them, haven't you?
I've played on Oculus, and obviously I've got the cardboard VR kit. So the Oculus
obviously it depends what you play, and the game is going to be better. But they had different stations for different games, and you were just allocated one. Like the guy I was with at one point played like a soccer demo. It's like heading in the ball, which he said was good fun, but
can't do that.
It's not going to be great. That mobile one was really good in the fact that it was like a jetpack game, like a Pilot Wings, and you actually got a bit of vertigo playing it. It
wasn't something called Omega, was it?
Don't know. It was just like you was in a city.
Yeah, I think that sounds like the one we played at EGX Res, where your legs are kind of dangling when you're in the little pod, and you've got like a stick, because it works because you're sitting down as well, and the controller kind of mimics the sticks that would happen on a jetpack. It works really well because you're stationary. You've only got to move your head, haven't you, to look around. Yeah, and you're right.
Like in like a dome city kind of.
Yeah. That is exactly it. Yeah, no, that's the exact one we saw at EGX Res, and I thought that works really well for VR because it fits the way you're actually playing the game. Whereas if you was running around with I don't know, that would put me off slightly. But because you're stationary in that, and you're right, you do get vertigo when you go up in that, and it'll spin round. You feel dizzy, and you think, "Good God, this is absolutely an attack on my senses."
Absolutely.
Did you ever go at the Oculus then? What sort of demos did you have going for that?
Oculus was like a tank demo, like you kind of, looks wise it wasn't pretty. It was like sort of square, but you got launched out of like an underground facility into like a tank war. Yeah. But again, very nice, really smooth for a tech demo. Looked great.
Yeah.
Played really nice. It's the immersion though, like looking top left and seeing more screen. It's just it's a bit bizarre in your brain, but I don't know. Certain games when they get them right are going to be
ridiculous,
just unbelievable, mate. Like I think we've said it before, but like a PT in that.
No, don't.
Like, if you had the balls to play that.
Wow.
And it's because you're just... Do you know what I think a part of it is the fact that, sometimes when I play a game, I do get that... I hate myself for it, but I'll start looking at my phone, like, during a cutscene and things. Like this, headphones on, game all around you. You're in the game, you're stuck. It's like complete 100% immersion. It's like being at the cinema, but 100 times more immersive. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, and people still look on their phones in the cinema. I've seen them, so...
Yeah, little rats even brightening up everything, ruining it for all.
Hear a little keeper going... That is nothing more annoying than that.
But it's the fact that you stick those headphones on and you're just in the game world, it's amazing.
Would you want to do that, though? If you're sitting at home and you can't hear anything else outside the game, you can't see anything outside the game... How long do you think you could spend in that world without you think I'm getting either tired or you think, what am I missing in the real world? Is someone called me? Is someone died? Like, do you know what I mean? 'Cause there's no way you'd know because you'll be so focused on that game. Someone could come in and rob your house whilst you're playing that conceivably, and you'd never know, would you? Because it just shuts off all other senses, and that's one thing I do appreciate about some games, that you can just pause it, like when your dinner's ready. Something just stupid like that. It'd be a pain in the arse. Someone would have to come and tap you in the shoulder, and it'd probably make you jump because you'd be so into the game that any sort of outside contact that you're not expecting from the game itself would jolt you. I'd imagine if you spent like over an hour in there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they're going to have some sort of timeout things on them, like to take a break. I don't know, but
they absolutely will try that, and people go, "Oh no, it's breaking the immersion," and they'll take it out, and it won't happen.
I guess in real life, if you've got a job and friends and girlfriends and whatnot, you're not going to be able to kind of lock yourself in for 3 hours. But if you could do that, like, get home, unplug everything, go right, sort of sticking this on now for 2.5, 3 hours, you could have a really good time on it. It'd be amazing. But that's a good point. I don't know how, in like 2015, when people have busy lives, you're going to be able to dedicate the right kind of time and cut off from everything else to kind of get yourself stuck in. But that said, there's going to be a lot of people out there that I think are going to disconnect. It's going to be like the Lawnmower Man.
It was exactly what I was thinking. Lawnmower Man, Paul Pierce, Mr. Brosnan, and co. I was thinking that exact same thing, where you could just essentially get lost in that world and then almost crave it. I think honestly, in the next 3-5 years, you'll be cases like that. And the media will jump all over it, and it'll be like, oh look, it's killing our kids, this virtual reality. And it's like, well, don't give it them. If they can't be trusted with it. Morpheus, so that's obviously the PlayStation version of this. How did that stack up compared to... Is it about the same, on par? Were they all pretty similar? Is this the sort of vibe I'm getting from you? They were all sort of level pegging.
Exactly, those two were definitely like almost the same. Like I'd say Morpheus probably as a set looked more... Because that's the other thing about them. It's a lot of wires, and they're not the easiest things to stick on your head. Like,
no.
What do you think?
You need someone to help you. I did anyway. I like to put it on. There's no way I would have got that on my head on my own and sorted it out properly. I kind of had to have him strap me into it.
Exactly the same. And that's the only thing I can say is that one, the PlayStation Morpheus, is a bit easier. I mean, again, I don't know what they're going to look like when they actually come out, but
they can't be far off what they look like.
No, that one's a lot cleaner looking, and it's certainly easier to get on and off and maybe navigate the menus. VR wise, nothing between them of the games I played. Did you
have PlayStation Move controllers to have your hand movements?
But somebody left of me did. I don't know what they would. Oh yeah, I did see it actually. They were on a game like it was the demo I saw, or not the demo, the intro. So they were in a car, and I guess they were a policeman or whatever. Their partner was
driving.
Yeah, driving and telling them what's going on. They were then sort of opening the glove compartment, pulling out a gun, and it looked pretty sweet. I mean, it's kind of, you don't get the right sort of look, do you, what they're seeing like when you see the TV screen? But I'm guessing he was like loving it, and it looked really kind of intuitive the way he was opening the glove compartment, like checking the bullets in the gun. He picks up a can of Coke, threw it down, and then obviously the game started and he was shooting people out the side of the gun. Again, sitting in a seat. I'm guessing that one
worked pretty well.
Pretty sweet. Yeah.
That's the thing. I think the apps or the games have got to be correct for the situation you're in. Something like a driving game, I always find that's going to be really, really well done. That's going to be excellent, like a full cockpit driving game. That's going to be really nice. Fighter jet game where you're in a plane, something like where you're seated. But when you start roaring around running, I think that's where it's going to lose people slightly. It's going to make, I don't know, it make me feel sick, I think. If I felt I was sitting still and the screen's bobbing up and down like I'm running, that might do me in. So 2016 rolls around and we get Morpheus and Oculus, and there's obviously going to be Samsung Gear. There's going to be a HTC Vive out as well. There's going to be all these different VR options out there. Are you tempted to invest in any of them? And if so, is there any kind of front runner for you?
Give me a
personally?
hypothetical price tag.
Right, okay, so let's say the handheld one's £100 cheaper. We'll say the other two, say the Morpheus and Oculus, are running at, say, $250 each, maybe. Or you can get the one that you can slot your smartphone in for £100 cheaper, so $150 to $100.
Yeah, I would, even though I was really impressed with it, I wouldn't go with the mobile one, just because...
Oh, really?
Well, like what...
Do you not trust the apps that are going to be...
Yeah, like, I mean, I've played a couple of games on my mobile phone, like, doggedly, but they're normally ones that are just addictive, you know, they're not graphically good. Yeah, exactly, you know, so I'd veto that out almost certainly.
Oh, okay.
But for $250, yeah, I'd be 100% on board for that sort of price tag.
So that's the kicker for you then, the price point. Is that going to pretty much decide whether you'll invest in it or not, depending on whether it seems affordable or it seems sensible for what you're investing
It's more
in?
Launch price, because you know they're going to go down eventually. So if it launched at $250, somewhere, you know, between $250 $300, like, it would be like a no-brainer for me. I'd get it, definitely.
Oh, really?
Yeah, based on what I've seen. And, you know, if I knew, like, the guys at Valve or whatever were doing Portal, you know, VR, like, I'd be all over that.
So would that be more important to you, that you see a working game that you feel that's going to work for it, or would you just get it regardless and think, I hope games are going to come along for this, that I'm going to have to play properly?
Yeah, for that price,
tough one, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. If no one's making anything, you're going to be a bit dubious about investing. But I'm assuming people will be. So at that price tag, with, you know, a couple of launch games or something in the pipe, because I'm guessing it's going to launch with some Wii Sports type thing, wouldn't it? Like, like whatever. Like, you know, you can
mess
some
around
bundled
in kind of like game that's designed to show off what it can and can't do and whatnot. Yeah, I think.
But there's enough types of games there, and especially in there, they're not necessarily games that are mass produced. You know, it might bring out a nice like whole sideline of games that have kind of been forgotten that can be revamped and
it's true that suddenly work better for VR games. You might think, you might appreciate the game more using that. I guess the take home from this is for you that you're now nearly on board with VR and you're quite excited about what's going on. I assume that's a fair assessment of what you said.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I was always like keen to try it and excited. I didn't know what I'd think, but 100% on board with it. I think it's a really, really good gimmick as such. It's way more than a gimmick. It's probably the next step.
Yeah.
Though I don't think it's going to take over at all. I genuinely don't. I just think a very, very nice sideline to what's going on.
Yeah, no, it's one of those things that you really do have to try it. I mean, I've said it tons of times ever since I first had a go on the Oculus. Once you try it, you then appreciate what it can do and what the possibilities could potentially be. And I guess we'll see next year when they start releasing these headsets, how they market them, what's going to be coming out, and whether they are successful and we get some either unique games or slightly different twists on existing ones. It's going to be exciting, I think, to have something new in the industry that's probably going to maybe one day turn things upside down and rewrite the book of how things are developed.
What is the deal then? The Oculus is for use on PC and Xbox?
No, I think the Oculus is just PC only.
Just PC only?
Yeah, at the moment, so the Xbox have got that HoloLens that they've shown, where it's kind of like it's augmented reality, so it's holograms in your vision, so your room stays the same, so you're not cut off from the world. It kind of it projects the game world in your eyesight in your room, if that makes sense. And Morpheus is for PlayStation 4. The other one, the handheld one, I assume is just like I think Samsung Gear. I think one of them definitely is for smartphones and whatnot.
Because that's the other thing, there's going to be a flood, and then maybe like VHS and Betamax somewhere
one of
fall
them
by the wayside. Yeah.
And I think you've got HTC Vive, which is very similar to the others, but I've seen videos on the way that's set up, and they have cameras in your actual room that track your movement, so you walk around a 3D space. But again, how are you going to sort that out at home? Like rent a big yellow self-storage, and then say, right, I'm just going to use that to play the HTC. It's a great idea. I bet it's incredible to play, but practically, I don't think you're going to be able to. Many people are going to have to do that, which is a shame.
Yeah.
But there's going to be all sorts going out, and we'll see who wins out. Maybe there'll be a market. It looks like Sony have got the console market of the PlayStation side. They've got the Morpheus. Nothing else will be compatible with that, so they're going to have the PlayStation locked down themselves. Oculus might have to fend off the HTC Vive, but as I said, I've got concerns about just how that will work in reality of a human house with objects in your way, because you are cut off from the world and you will trip over things. Right, let's move on to Street Fighter 5.
Yep.
So you had a little go at that. You was a massive Street Fighter fan.
Yep.
One of your I think it actually went down as one of your greatest games of all time when we done our list. I'm pretty sure it did. Pretty sure that made the grade. So, have you had all the Street Fighters? Because I'll admit now, I played Street Fighter 2 on the Mega Drive. Didn't really play any more after that, and I get completely confused when it comes to Ultra HD, Hyper Edition, all that kind of stuff. Have you been plugged into all of these, or have you kind of dipped in now and again, depending on what's going on?
I've had the majority. I haven't had all like the up, like you go Street Fighter 2 and then Hyper Fight and Ultra, and
so all the big numbered ones you've had.
Yeah, I've had pretty much. I think 3 might have passed me by, but I have played it. Mm-hmm. But I've had the vast majority. Yeah.
Which was the one you got almost addicted to because you wanted to be in the top 100 of the leaderboard? 4.
Original 4, yeah. Xbox 360.
Absolutely loving that. So, how did a Street Fighter 5 stack up to your expectations, and has it given you, look into what it could potentially do, and are you interested in another Street Fighter game? Yeah, so it was a real nice
setup. They had it with like nice size TV with the fighting sticks stood up, so it was very like arcadey feel, really nice. It's brilliant. Yeah, they only had like 6 playable characters, I think. It's pretty much play as long as you want, but most people are having like 2 or 3 fights and then moving it over to let someone else have a go.
Yeah.
It's very similar to Street Fighter 4, to be honest. Okay. So if you like that, you'll love it. If you didn't or no interest, I don't think this is gonna.
It's not gonna win you over.
Yeah, I'm really excited for it, and it was great to see like it having big nut queues for people to play it, and everyone seemed to be really enjoying it. There was a tournament going on at the same time, which had a big crowd around it.
Always.
I mean, there's not really much else to say. It looks great. The style was very similar to 4. I don't know how many new characters there are. I believe 4 or 6.
Okay.
It's going to have a big roster again. Not really much else to say. I'm sure there'll be more fighting sticks that come out and whatnot.
Yeah. Do you think it's been a smart move for Sony to make it a console exclusive? I.e., it's not coming to Xbox One, but it will be on PlayStation 4 and PC.
Obviously it is. I mean, it's got a massive fan base and a very loyal fan base.
Yeah.
Again, though, I don't know the numbers the old one sold, and
I
don't think it is a big seller anymore. And I don't feel they'll be able to win anyone else over if these 2D fighting games or 2D/3D fighting games.
Yeah,
there were 1990s kind of heydays long gone, but
there's people out still enjoy it, but it's probably not. It's not the mainstream, is it these days? It's not.
But the thing is, it's like, I guess, like an election, isn't it? You keep winning these like little groups, clusters of fans, then you've kind of won the whole race at the end of the day. So I mean, it is a wise move, and it's the premier fighting game, and they've got that as well now, I guess. Yeah,
they've got that under the belts. And said it is on PC as well, so those guys will have to play, and it's cross-play as well, so you can play.
It's fantastic.
It's a good implementation there. I'm going to move on to Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Now, you said you played the first one. I assume you didn't complete that. You just played it, had it.
Yeah, binned it. It was poor, that first one, wasn't it? Yeah,
it was really bad, and it did get better, and then it's got worse again. How did Syndicate stack up then? Because it's been a long time since you've played one of these games. They are predominantly a stealth game. What are your thoughts as a kind of an outsider? Is this enough to get you interested in the Creed, or is it just kind of like, solidified your thoughts in why you never quite got into the series?
Well, huge lineup. who are the guys that make this? Is it Unity?
Ubisoft, sorry,
Ubisoft, yeah. So they had gone to town with it. So there was screens everywhere playing like a massive array of trailers.
All copies going all right, bro.
Fantastic, to be honest. Got me well excited. They looked great, so I was like really keen. And then, if I'm honest, when I got to the game, it was good. Worryingly for you, I mean, I know it's definitely not ready to be shipped, but it was definitely broken at this stage. Like, I was like, couldn't get through doors. I kind of went through a wall at one point.
Oh, like, no, what are they doing? There's a guy running around the floor going, trying to like put out fires.
He was going, that shouldn't be happening. And I was like, well, it is, mate. So.
Was it Ubisoft like, so he's running around, he was there to put out fires, weren't he? He was just roaring. I bet that's the worst job in the world.
Yeah.
Watching people just walk through walls and be like, it shouldn't be happening. Well, it's in the code, isn't it? Because it's happening now, live. Oh, fuck's sake.
From what I know, I don't know how much, obviously the settings change and London looks fantastic.
Yeah.
You've got like a hook shot now. I don't think you had that previously.
No, like a grappling hook. So I've stolen that off Batman.
The thing is, that's the problem. I feel like Batman probably initially borrowed from this, but now it just feels like this is borrowing back from Batman.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's just because I've played more of the Batman and Shadow of Mordor and things, and it just felt very much like those. And I don't know if there's certain big set pieces in this game, but what was shown in the trailer, like when you was kind of gathering up these street gangs and having these big wars and following
that never happens in the game though, does it? It's normally just you and two others.
Right, that's what I was going to ask you, because if that all happens, like GTA, big scenes, big set pieces, it could be really special. If it doesn't, and it is more just like when I played it, I had 3 objectives. I kind of bodged my way around all 3, and they were just assassinating people, but not being a massive stealth man. I just kind of powered in, and I was throwing down electrical smoke and things at one point. I was shooting people. I was like, well, I don't know how much of an assassin this is,
but I'm getting through the game. Do you feel like the game would give you the choice to do different approaches, or did it feel kind of like sometimes you were forced into these conflicts, or if you were quote unquote better at the game, would you have been able to stealth your way through these bits?
Pretty sure you could have stealthed your way through, that's the only thing I mean, going back, I don't know what it's like to Shadow of Mordor, but that's what annoyed me about that. It kind of put all the emphasis on being stealthy. I played it exactly the opposite and powered that game in like 10 hours or 8 hours, and I was just like, well, don't
pretend.
Spend like hours and hours of trailers and previews telling me how good the stealth is and how I can get like worm tongue to like help me when it's not needed. And I got the same feeling with this. I just thought it looks very pretty. I mean, I don't know, because I know the last one caused riots, how broken it was. They've got to fix that, obviously. But it looks lovely. It really does. And hopefully the new little gameplay adjustments will bring it up to par with the big hitters in that kind of world of games now. I don't know what you'd call them, stealth action.
Well, they're kind of like open world sort of stuff. They always sell well, Assassin's Creed. They always sell well. I mean, there's a film being made about it with Fassbender, who's kind of like really pushing to get it made. He's going to star in it. So for whatever reason, because there were some of those games were very good, but they just never evolved enough for me, and they got just slowly worse. And you kind of you realise that the guards have got no intelligence whatsoever. And like when you play something like the Phantom Pain, the way the guards, when they see you and the way they react, it's a completely different kettle of fish, and you just think, good God, I'm just playing like a bog standard like bot here. You can just tell.
Going back to that, for someone like you is going to be very difficult then, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those ones where if I'll have to look to see if it's broken, and then I think, well, do I want to invest a minimum of sort of 15-20 hours into this? Answer's probably not, unless it's something very special. So probably going to be the first Creed I've missed since the first one.
With the London setting, not just because I heard that somebody else I know was telling me about the last one set in Paris, and they were saying it was like stunning and just walking around Paris. They're a big fan.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been to Paris, but it was a great setting, and there's like you said, people saying it's really accurate of how the times would be. You know what? I work in London. I don't need it in a video game. It's not like a major pull for me.
Go to your office, see what it was like in sort of 16th century, mate.
It's never that accurate. Nah, I'm not having it. London's always grey and horrible in the games anyway. They never make it look nice, whereas Paris was like quite bright and vibrant, whereas this I can just see just being like a grey mess, which is not a bad. That's quite accurate, but again, does it make a good game set? I'm not so sure. Tomb Raider, so That's the Xbox One 2015 exclusive. You got to have a little demo on that. You played and loved the reboot, which was obviously Square Enix and whatnot. How did this? Does it feel like a big step forward, considering it's come to a new generation and it's meant to be, you know, a next gen type of game? Even though I think it is actually being released on 360 as well, if scaled back at all.
Oh, that sort of worries me, because I was going to say it looked good, but it didn't look great. It didn't look a huge step up.
Did it play?
Plays very nice, very nice. Yeah, it was only a small section I got to play, but yeah, very obviously Uncharted and like the old Tomb Raider. You know what to expect again. They haven't changed from what I could see. They haven't changed much. You know, run, gun, duck for cover, loads of set pieces, loads of kind of quick time events. Yeah. I really enjoyed it. I loved the last one. I've not played the Uncharted, but I'm really, really keen to catch up with those when they update them and get them on the PS4.
Yeah. Did you get a chance to play the Nathan Drake collection that was there?
Yes, did. Yeah, I did. I think I played number 2.
Yeah, probably the best one.
There was a you might even remember it. There was a section where it probably happens loads, but I was running towards the screen with a big truck behind me.
Yeah.
Then he kind of woke up, and I was kind of climbing up some poles and going into some abandoned houses and just then fighting a bunch of, I don't know what they were, just guys, but looked very, very good. And I've seen some side-by-side comparisons, and obviously the older ones do look very nice in comparison. Yeah. Both games very similar though, and both very good. I'm very keen for both.
So if you had to choose one, because there has been people that say that the Tomb Raider reboot was kind of like Uncharted light. It borrowed quite a few. It's heavily influenced the way the new Tomb Raider played was sort of based a little bit on Uncharted, in my view anyway, like the way that the game was structured and the combat and whatnot. If you had to choose one at this stage, bearing in mind you've had a demo of both of them, which is what they're there to do, which would you go down and choose? Bearing in mind, obviously, you do get 3 in the Nathan Drake collection, but
point sort of tips it for me. I've not played all 3.
Yeah.
Some people tell me number 2 is the best game of all time.
Wow.
Like, I've heard a couple of people say that.
No way. But
no?
It's very, very good, but the best game of all time.
No. But yeah, anyway, anyone who bands around like that, then yeah, that tips it for me. I love the old Tomb Raider or the old new Tomb Raider, but yeah, I'd go Uncharted, especially with number 4 coming out, which looks outrageous, really.
Yeah.
I'd rather catch up with the story with that rather than see what Lara's been doing in the last couple of years.
Yeah, that's fine. So that's the main notes I got from your day one, but I'm sure I've missed something or a couple of things off of there. Is there anything that your day one adventure included that we haven't gone through that you wanted to mention that stuck out?
I can't remember, to be honest. I mean, it's a bit of a mess, my memory of that place. Like, part of me's glad to be out of it. It's just sort of sensory overload.
Yeah, but, it does get to that stage where it just feels like too much.
There's a lot. Like, I think I told you offline, but some of the rigs and things for the PC gaming just outrageous. That Alienware stuff and that is
it looks
beautiful.
Nice.
Yeah, and they had like PC towers, but they'd have been like retrofitted, so they looked like there was like some done like Valve, like all like steampunk 50s, like the inside they had a big crack inside, and it was
crazy,
rusted.
isn't it?
It looks so nice.
It's almost a business in itself, just having like a rig that looks nice and having like this ridiculous, like all the water cooling lighted up and whatnot.
It was amazing. So it was like an actual visual treat, just walking around and looking at everything and all the booths, and there's things that I'm not particularly interested in, like Minecraft. They had a Minecraft house built for this Minecraft story that's coming out, and I was like, I don't even know what's in that. I didn't have time to look, but it was huge.
Telltale game series, so it could be good, could be up your street.
Yeah, definitely a sort of good meeting of minds there. I don't know what they're going to do with that. But
it's either going to be really good or really poor. I don't think it's going to be a middle ground with that.
No, they're going to throw money at it though, aren't they? Like, and they've got the right people on. If you want, I don't know what they're going to do with it, but if you want to tell a story in a video game, they are kind of the go-to guys at the moment.
Yeah, they are doing a good job. Let's move on to your day two antics then. So a lot of Nintendo going on here. We've got,
we kind of got all that done in one big day,
Yeah, so I want to start with Mario Maker.
Yep.
Because I find this an interesting venture for Nintendo. Did you when you got your demo of Mario Maker, did you actually get to create a level and then play it? I mean, how is it structured for you to actually
it was
vibe what's going on?
You could do what you want, but I had a very, very quick go, but then went straight away onto the pre-made levels.
Yeah, I bet some of those are insane, aren't they? Some of the
and they had a tournament going on about that, and that was a load of fun watching the levels that have been made. I guess they're made by Nintendo at this stage.
Yeah.
But they were amazing, and people watching them were loving them. Like, they're so difficult, and watching people fumble around them and that, it was great.
It's good. So, what do you think of Mario Maker as a whole? Do you feel that by doing this, they can't really go back and release another 2D Mario game because, in theory, someone may have already created it, or there's going to be these new levels of content. Because you don't play Mario to play the story, do you? You know what's going on.
Interest,
like you're playing it for the levels, and I just feel like by doing this, they kind of limit themselves. If they try and now release a new sort of 2D Mario game in whatever form they decide, people will be like, well, I've got Mario Maker here. It's got almost infinity amount of levels that I could play because the choice is so wild, and there's going to be obviously a massive community there that will be intent on making like the best levels possible, stuff that Nintendo probably couldn't even cook up.
Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, they've kind of, I guess, taken ownership over all these kind of hacked Mario games that have been around for years now anyway. Yeah. So I respect them for that, and you're right. I don't know if they will be able to do another 2D, but I think the 2D ones, people were getting a bit sick of them again now anyway. So maybe this is like now causes a natural break for a few years.
Yeah,
before going like new Mario Bros 3 or whatever they'd
new
be up
engine,
to.
Sort of.
Because it's definitely, in my opinion, the premier 2D Mario. Like it's ridiculous what you can do, and then you going back from this would always feel like a step backwards. I think how intuitive it is to make things. I was watching people invent levels. They look very, very easy, and probably the first time the gamepad's actually had a use and is working well. It works very, very well for this. They've made like loads of cool little shortcuts. It's very easy to make very complex level designs, and the stuff they do, like you can make Mario wear a shell for a hat and links in the game. They've kind of really hit the set fan service again.
Yeah, you got all the amiibo sort of compatibility as well, haven't you, in that? So it'll unlock, I don't know what it'll unlock actually, characters, I guess, and skins. Yeah. So all those people that have invested in that are going to get that part of it.
Yeah, and I guess it'll have that sort of Trials HD sort of thing, where if you've got some friends who have got it, and there's there's going to be ridiculous levels. I know you can't upload a level unless it's completable. You have to complete your own level to upload it. So I think that's a nice touch. Yeah, but you get dicks just making instant death levels and stuff, and then that would annoy you, kind of scrolling around trying to play a level and just being like, what's this shit? So no, I think they've nailed it. They've got it really right. It looks great. The fact that you can switch between, I think, 4 different Marios, which is at the flick of a switch.
Can you integrate different Mario levels, different Mario assets within certain? Or it's got to be you pick
the whole aesthetic in one go. It updates from 8-bit to 16-bit or up to Wii graphics or whatever it would be at the highest end. But really, really good. Really looking forward to it, and I think it's going to be a big hit. Again, I don't think if you're not interested in Nintendo, it's not enough to sway you, but it's great
though. I think it's great. I do wonder whether they'll, like I said, whether they'll sell another 2D Mario. But I think as a consumer, that is almost sort of the ultimate experience for that type of game, because you're going to have an endless amount of content coming through your door, coming through the community. You can make your own. I don't know what else more you'd want out of a 2D Mario game apart from Mario Maker, in all honesty.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think a lot of people were really off when it got announced, which is what's that load of shit, but it's very, very good, and people were loving it.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That's the good news, and that is either due out or out now.
I think it might even be out now. 11th, I think.
Yeah. So by the time this podcast drops, it'll be out in the world for people to be playing. Let us know what you think of it. Triforce Heroes. So this is it's a multiplayer kind of co-op Zelda game on the 3DS system. You had a go at this. What was your thoughts of this? You're obviously a big Link fan and Legend of Zelda fan. You liked the handheld versions of Zelda as well. Was it Link to Past, wasn't it?
Link Between Worlds, Link to a Past.
Yeah, which got really good reviews and critical acclaim. How's Triforce Heroes stacking up to those types?
I might be a bit biased, but I loved it. I thought it was really, really good.
Big time.
My only worry with it is that you definitely can't charge off and try and be a hero. You would you need to work together in almost every room. It's basically a dungeon crawl with puzzles and enemies, but almost everything is, has some kind of trick where you'll have to work as a 2 or a 3 to get yourself through it.
I've seen like standing on like each other's heads and stuff to get to higher bits.
Exactly,
and
you're always throwing each other up to the next level, or you have to attack in a certain pattern. Like when you start the dungeon, you each pick up a weapon. It's essentially Gauntlet, I guess. Gauntlet. Yeah. So then, an enemy will be susceptible to one of those 3 weapons, or one then followed up with a second. My only problem with it is that if you were to play this online with randoms, you've only got, there's no speech, so you've only got like a series of like Link memes, like him in different poses to try and give hint, a bit like Journey, I guess, maybe, where you give a hint to what think you need to do. I feel like if you're playing with people who don't know Zelda or aren't really team players, it's going to be a nightmare to play. If you're in a room with 3 of your friends and you're playing together, it'd be great fun. But like, there was people in front of us who were taking like 20-25 minutes to complete the demo. I powered through it with like 2 others in like 6 or 7 minutes. Like,
showed them right up.
Like, it's just it could be very frustrating, I think. And then I guess you can play solo with 2 computer controlled people, but I don't know, it's taking the fun out of it, really, isn't it?
I've seen that you could kind of you think you can switch between them and get them to do certain actions. So you can play it, but it's designed, like you said, to be around friends and whatnot. And it's a good point you bring up about there being no voice chat, because that seems like the way the puzzles are structured, you're going to need to be able to want to communicate at some point.
Yeah, absolutely.
With each other, it's going to be a bit of a nightmare. I've left Star Fox till last, so it's due out November 2015. Earlier on, I read a lot of previews before PAX saying, it seems good, but it doesn't look very good. It looks a bit rough around the edges. Or have they brushed it up, do you think, since then? Or
not really, but I think it's a conscious decision. They've tried to make it look like the
old 64,
the old one, so where it was like the polygon squares, but
have they tried though, or have they just run out of money and thought, we can't be bothered, like, again?
We've got 20 quid to make this game, do what you can. It does look a bit shoddy, I can't deny that. It looks nicer running and playing it yourself.
Sure.
And the 3D, it all runs at 60 frames per second, I was told. Yeah. Even on the gamepad, so it's apparently like having 120 frames per second. I was like, it's not, is it? It's like having 260 frames per second. Don't lie. But it's very smooth. It's intuitive. It looks average. Obviously there's nothing else really like that at the moment. So it's nice that they've waited a while before bringing the franchise back. And it was probably out of those 3, it was the one that least excited me.
Is that how into Star Fox are you as a series and a franchise? Is it one of those ones that was there you kind of thought, this is good, but it's not going to compete with Zelda, is it?
I was never massively keen on them. It's kind of something I want to go back and revisit maybe, but I guess it's going to be similar to the other ones, like 8 stages, 3 sections. I just don't know. I don't know. I don't want to say, because I think there's room for everything, but maybe that type of game is now a little bit dead. You can't have a 40-hour shoot 'em up, essentially. And
how do the gameplay mechanics work? Because don't you use that to help you aim?
Yeah, so you can switch between 2. You can have the third. It's basically like first and third person, basically. Yeah. You get a cockpit for you, or you get the behind the X-wing or whatever it's called for you. Yeah. So you can just switch between the 2. I'm guessing there's going to be a lot of boss battles that implemented. There was nothing that I played that required the second view. It just looked very nice and made some distance shooting easier. But it wasn't needed.
So you're not overly excited for that. It's kind of be one of those things.
It's my least one, but I mean, there's not a great deal out on the Wii U, and I'm sure by the time it comes out, it will be a nice game, and I'll pick it up. But out of those 3, it's my third choice.
Yeah. Cool. Got one final question before we wrap this up. How much cosplaying was going on there? Because that is one of my almost pet hates of these things, is people roaring around in outfits. Yeah,
I think about 50% of everyone there dressed up as something, mate. It was mental. It's absolutely mental. Some of the effort.
I don't mind if it's done well, to be fair, and it's not just a suit that someone's put on, like they just put like a Superman suit on. But some of the ones you see, I was thinking, what are you trying to be?
Mate, honestly, some of the ones, especially things for like, what's that thing called on PC? Like something, Heroes. I can't think what it's called. That's probably the wrong name.
Yeah.
League of Legends.
League of Legends, yeah. Mate, you're chucking me down the wrong avenue there saying Heroes.
People, on the effort they've gone to, it's outrageous. They can't move. They've got like a normal like girlfriend like walking around the thing telling them where to go because they've got like
they can't see what they're doing.
Mate, yeah.
Do they even play the games or they just walk around like that?
No, yes, I mean, that's their day. That is their day. Is just lining up and getting people to take pictures of them. Like, I don't know if they go for 4 days and do a couple of days of that, because I saw the same people, like, some of them, like, 2 days in a row. I was like, you haven't had enough. They come back for more. But honestly, I saw one guy trying to get a Subway. He couldn't sit down. I was like, what are you getting out of this, mate? It's genuinely... It's fucking mental. It's not for me. I mean, they make the event, and, you know, there's a lot of, like, super nerds there, and they must love it. They can just you can wear whatever you want. I've never seen so many, like... Nintendo t-shirts and, you know, fucking geeky powder puff things or whatever. But do you know what? On the plus side of all of that, not really cosplay, but I do love the fact that in one kind of event, you've got people upstairs playing like Frogger, you know, people in their 40s, and they're loving it. They've paid a lot of money to come here, so they're video game fans, but they love the old stuff. And then you've got people downstairs like Twitch streamers on probably 10 grand rigs playing like the most up-to-date versions of like the most up-to-date games, and like everyone knows a bit about everything, and you know it all works together, and it is a very nice kind of community to be part of, and you know you can enjoy it to any degree that you want. If you want to go mental and dress up as your favourite character, do it. If you just want to sort of play some games, do it. You know, it's all there to be enjoyed, and there's a lot of people out there obviously that do love games.
No, so no one pulled you over and wanted a signature or a picture of Pac-Man. No one was doing that. Obviously, he's a bit old Pac-Man, isn't he? So maybe they've sort of forgotten about you.
Yeah, I sort of preempted that, popped a little cap on. So
did you actually have a hat on?
No, I didn't. But funnily enough, I saw some guy in like a black leotard with just like a yellow Pac-Man head on walking around. It's like brilliant.
Yeah, that's just
exactly. What's he getting out of that? He was going to McDonald's at one point as well. I was like, right, that's it.
Crazy,
little eye holes in the mouth.
Yeah. But they love that. Well, that's a wrap there. Thanks for sharing your experience with PAX 2015.
Yeah, no, I assume I'm able to mail across expenses and that to you guys, to the admin team.
Yeah, just I'll give you Logan's email at the end of this, and you take up with him. He's in finance, so he can pay that. Depends what you spend it on, really. It obviously won't cover leisure costs such as drink, alcoholic beverages and whatnot, but you know the tickets themselves maybe. Again, did you need to go for 2 days? Not sure. Probably could have done it in 1 day if I'm honest, because that second day seemed very feet on the ground. But that's a wrap here, guys. If you want to get in contact with us, you can do. You can tweet us at Dimp Digital, and you can also like our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Dimp Digital. And if you want to use the email, it's dimpdigitalmedia@gmail.com. Don't forget the YouTube channel Dimp Digital is there. There's always content going up, reviews, let's plays, previews, let's talks, all sorts of business going on. So make sure you subscribe to that, and so you don't miss out on any of the new content there. But that's it for now. Game over. It's goodbye from Tom.
See you later, mate.
And it's goodbye from me, Apps. Thanks for your time, and ta-da. But gameplay wise it's phenomenal. I've got no complaints whatsoever how it plays. Just a bit weird the way it's structured, but I guess he wanted to appeal to more people, and like I said, anyone could pick this up and have a good time with it, I reckon.
Nice.
That is all I've got to say about that. What's this game that you said about last NES or SNES or when you first come on?
Hang on. Which SNES?
Oh, signal's cutting out. Disaster.
Came out on the SNES, and it's the same game, A Port of Frogger, and that's what.
Yeah, didn't hear that. Cut out.
It's me. I've gone to the toilet. Do you want to call me back and check this sound test or whatever?
Yeah, all right. Hello, mate.
Right, third time lucky?
Yeah. Let's just get on with it. Otherwise we'll blow all our...
Joe?
Hello? Tom? What have I done here? Yeah.
I think, again, it's PC, Xbox only.
Yeah.
Might be wrong on that, but really nice game. And, yeah, I'm keen to get them, and mainly for those...
Hello. Fucking hell. Hello?